here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Do you have it already?
I have it right behind me. And then that'll give them a minute to take a picture.
I still don't have enough room on this podium.
You can go get the old one there. Weighs 8 tons.
I can get like 4 set up right here. That'd be nice. This will be fine. Hey, if anybody for some reason is not on a distribution list that you know of, you can get the email blast from myself yesterday. If you want to jot it down here, add it to my distribution list. If not, we're going to be going in just a couple minutes or so.
Thank you. Can you show you his live streaming, just to let you know?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm live streaming too.
Everybody's on live.
I'm live right now, so. I could.
I'm sorry, TJ, did you have a question?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I have somebody at the table over here.
No. No, you don't. I don't know, you just.
Yes, thanks, Paul. Yeah, no worries.
No, Paul's on his way. Actually, he's bringing my new mic. I don't want to use the old mic. I don't want to bust the $10,000 worth of microphones like Derek.
Hey, John. Hey, how are you? Mic check 1 2, check 1 2, mic check 1 2. But I'll send you I had to run down here.
I'm just trying to find out about it, so they don't have buzz. Yeah, I'm fine with you.
Mic check, 1 2 3. Mic check, 1 2 3. Mic check, 1 2 3.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Guys, we're about to get started. Everybody okay? Everybody ready? I'm just going to give you a layout of what's going to happen. So I'm just going to read excerpts from the original press release. I'm going to introduce Detective Sollenberger after that, and then she'll take questions or whatnot. So if you have any questions, just hold it for Detective Sollenberger. Okay, we ready? Good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Derek Gaspard. I'm with the Galveston Police Department. last name spelling Gaspard. On Monday, June 7th, 2021, at approximately 9:45 p.m., officers with the Galveston Police Department were dispatched to Kroger's, which is located in the 5700 block of Seawall Boulevard, in reference to an aggravated robbery that occurred. Officers learned that a 72-year-old female and a 21-year-old male were approached by two black males, both with facial tattoos. They brandished a firearm, struck both victims in the head with the firearms, and stole personal property from the victims. The suspects entered a white sedan, possibly a Honda, and fled northbound on 57th Street from Kroger's. The 21-year-old was treated by EMS and released on the scene for his injuries, and the 72-year-old female was taken by ambulance to the University of Texas Medical Branch here in Galveston. Local business owners have come together and pledged approximately $8,250 as of today's date towards information provided from the public in reference to information that leads to the arrest and conviction of these suspects. The Galveston Police Department, the public, and the victims are extremely grateful for their generosity. We still encourage the public to contact the Galveston Police Department with information about this incident, and the number to contact is going to be 409-765-3770, or also anonymously through Galveston Crime Stoppers at 409-763-8477. The Galveston Police Department recently reached out to Lois Gibson, who is a forensic artist for the Houston Police Department, and she completed a forensic sketch for us of one of the suspects, which we're presenting here today, and that's what you see in front of me. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Detective Sollenberger for any questions and comments.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. I'm Michelle Sollenberger. I'm a detective with Galveston Police Department. I'm investigating this incident that occurred on Monday involving the 72-year-old woman and her 21-year-old grandson. She met with Lois Gibson yesterday, and we completed a composite sketch, which is in front of us. And there is, according to the victim, a general likeness of the suspect to the composite sketch. Additionally, I wanted to note that the tattoo by the eye is an unknown at this time what that design is. There is a tattoo by the eye, and Ms. Gibson indicated that on the sketch, but we do not know the exact design or emblem that that tattoo represents at this time. Did want to read a statement that was prepared by the victim and her family. She wrote, on behalf of myself and my family, I would like to thank the Galveston businesses and the caring people of Galveston for the reward to catch these dangerous criminals. Myself and my grandchildren are traumatized by this cowardly act that will not be forgotten. Please help the island residents and our visitors to the island to feel safe, and any tips of any kind could help the police to capture them. Thank you. And that was directly from the victim. That's what she asked me to read to you today. I'll be happy to take any questions.
How's she doing?
She is recovering. She's very shaken, as are her grandchildren. She's medically okay. She's going to be okay. She's got some bruising and some swelling. She had to have some stitches. I mean, she's just, she's recovering, but it's going to be a slow process.
Is she from Galveston? Where is she from?
So she's not from Galveston, but she did live here for a while. She had residence in Galveston for a little bit, and they like to come here often to visit, but they are still close enough that they get to come here on the weekends.
You need security video from that y'all were able to review that would help in this case at all?
At this time, we've reviewed dozens of hours of video, and we do not have any that we feel would be sufficient to assist us at this time in releasing to the public, but we are still reviewing more video that we have.
Just for maybe someone who was by there during this time or something like that, what part of that parking lot would this kind of occur?
Be the easternmost side of the parking lot near the gas pumps.
There's been some social media talk that Kroger itself didn't have any security cameras pointing at the parking lot. Can you confirm that?
Yes, I can confirm that Kroger does have security cameras on the roof. Kroger does capture part of the parking lot. That particular area of the parking lot where the attack took place is just out of camera range. So they do have, the majority of their parking lot is covered by camera footage. It's just where they happen to have parked is right off that camera view.
And Kroger's cooperating with?
Absolutely. Kroger's has been phenomenal in cooperating with us and assisting us in the investigation.
Was there another pistol whip attack that happened Thursday morning at 61st, T&A? Could they possibly be connected?
So there was another incident that was Thursday morning. And that incident, we have the suspects in custody, and they are 3 Hispanic males. And the victims in the Kroger incident are confident that they were attacked by 2 black males. So we do not have any reason to believe at this time that the 2 are related.
What would you say to, because she obviously was down here as a tourist, it's the height of tourist season. What do you tell people that are come to the island hearing there are 2 separate pistol whip attacks? What's your message to them? And then also, how can I protect myself if I'm out shopping, especially if I'm out there?
Sure. So, you know what, I think the general advice that I would give is just be aware of your surroundings. We're a tourist town, and unfortunately, a lot of people are preyed upon for being tourists. As with any tourist industry, tourists have money. Tourists have objects that other people desire. So we do see an increase in car burglaries and some minor offenses during the summer because there's more people here. So just be generally aware of your surroundings and take note of anybody that may be suspicious, that may be paying attention to you extra closely. And then say something. I mean, that's the best advice I can give is to say something if you see something suspicious.
And this may be a question higher up the ranks on this, about just overall, you talk about the tourism in town effect on that. Does policing increase in the island right now? We've seen a number increase, particularly around those tourist spots, seawall and the like, during this time of the year since we've come into the summer season. And it seems that the crowds are already kicking up almost to holiday levels on a regular day. Is that happening right now?
As far as an increase in patrols, is that what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
So typically we shift resources as needed to the areas that are affected the most by those, the tourist influx. Whether it's a event at a specific location, we'll shift resources to that specific location. For instance, the Strand during Mardi Gras has way more patrol officers in February and March than it does in, say, November. So we utilize our resources where the crowds are going to be.
Can I talk to you a little bit about the attack? I mean, to be pistol whipped as you're walking out of the grocery store, clearly she wasn't alone. This person was bold enough to approach her with 2 other people, like literally by her side. How did the pistol whipping happen? Was she attempting to fight back, or did this person just spring up on her?
So I can answer a little bit about that. So there were two suspects and 2 victims. And the victims were both situated at different aspects of the vehicle. So her grandson was actually towards the back of the vehicle. She was at the driver's seat of the vehicle. The suspects kind of sneak attacked them, just kind of popped up on them, as you said, and one went to each respective victim. So they were both grabbed almost simultaneously, and both of the victims were attacked almost simultaneously.
In your car?
So the male victim was outside of the car, putting groceries into the rear compartment area of the vehicle, and the female victim was getting into the driver's seat, had her door open, was sitting into the driver's seat and putting the key in the ignition when she was attacked.
Is this like an ambush or a basic crime of opportunity? I ask this because we're talking about tourism, and this is right across the street from the beach. There's conventions,
Sure.
everywhere. I know people should be on alert and have their head on a swivel, but at a certain point, there's only so much you can do when you're getting in your car. Does it seem like a calculated attack?
It did. And so we don't think that they were specifically targeted for who they are or anything like that. But the items that were taken were some items of jewelry. And for lack of better terms, they were flashy. There were large items of jewelry that were noticeable, and so we believe that they may have been spotted earlier in the day or earlier in the evening and waited for that opportunity.
So there's a possibility, because they were tourists, maybe not their head on a swivel or something like that, that they were followed or targeted for this?
There's a general consensus amongst myself and the family that's probably the most likely scenario.
Are you concerned he's going to strike again against someone else? And what's the message for the suspect?
The best thing that I could wish for would be that they turn themselves in, but realistically, the best thing that I can advise is your face is out there now. We know who you are. It's just a matter of time before we put a name to this face. And somebody's going to recognize them. Somebody's going to turn them in. That's a lot of money that's been offered by local businesses to come together to prevent these types of activities from occurring again.
Would you be willing to share with us the flashy pieces of jewelry that were stolen? Only because everybody who's watching this press conference is likely on social media now, Facebook Marketplace is popping. What are people looking for?
Sure, it's a gold chain and a watch, and I wish I could be more specific than that, but there's really not anything that I can release that's more specific that would help us narrow down the items. But it was a nice thick gold chain with a nice watch.
On the reward, is it the normal route through Crime Stoppers that will be handled on that there? Or is it-
Yes, so the reward is being offered by local business owners. One of our local business owners pledged a reward amount, and then some other business owners have come forward and also made some pledges for that amount, and we've gotten it up to $8,250 currently, in addition to anything that Crime Stoppers might offer. So that reward amount would be contingent on arrest and conviction, but any tip that we get at this point is going to be helpful.
When you guys have stuff like composites or descriptions of evidence or other stuff that you can't share with the media, do you share that with other departments in the county or in the area? Because obviously they're left in a car, so.
Right, so we do have a crime analyst that helps us with communicating with other agencies and spreading that information. Yeah.
And the fact that you just got boosted money for this reward less than a week after does this just speak to the fact that people in the area are just sick and tired of these violent crimes, no matter where we are in the Houston area? It seems like anyone, anywhere, at any time could be attacked. Just the fact that thousands and thousands of dollars are being offered by the end of the week seems impressive to me.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And in my career, I've only seen this happen a couple of times, and I really think that's the message here is people are just sick and tired of the criminals getting away with stuff and trying to make our community safer by getting these bad guys off the street.
Can you kind of speak to that in terms of cases of random crime on people in the city in Galveston? Is that increasing at all noticeably in the past year or recently, or is this a rare type of?
You know what, I can't really speak to that because I don't see the overall numbers. I see the numbers that come to my desk, and I can speak to the fact that the number of cases that I have been assigned to investigate has not really changed. But above that, if they are being distributed to other detectives, I can't say definitively, but I can say that the number of cases that I have been assigned haven't changed.
And just to double check, is there any MO similar to this, similar described suspects that have happened in any time recently in Galveston?
No.
And my last question, just so I can be more specific, people love details. I know she doesn't live in Galveston. Does she live in the Houston area? Does she live in Louisiana? Like, how can we identify this lady?
So they have requested at this time to not be public with their information because she's recovering and the grandchildren are having a very hard time with it. So, but she does live in the Houston area. I can narrow it down to the Houston area for you.
Thank you. How would you describe her injuries?
She has a very deep laceration through the cheek and upper lip, some some jaw damage to the upper jaw. Yeah.
Where exactly was the granddaughter during the attack?
So her granddaughter was actually in the car, and she's a juvenile. She's a teenager, but she is a juvenile. So she was already in the car. She had gotten in the car and closed the door, and we don't know if the suspects knew that she was even in there, because she was not harmed and she wasn't addressed by the suspects.
So had come out of the store and head back to their car?
Yes, they had been shopping inside the store briefly and come back to their car, and they were loading the groceries in the car.
So scary. Could have been you, could have been me.
Could have been any of us. It's unreal thinking about the everyday activities that we do, such as going to the grocery store, and something like this happening.
Any other questions, guys? We're good? Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
We'll leave the picture up there so y'all can get some close-ups. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I guess
This is one of the business owners operating